Hello and welcome to my food vlog. We are talking about making egg cups today for Mother's Day. And there are a couple other recipes that can be combined with this, or you can choose to make one at a time, or you can choose to make just one for your mom and she's going to love it. So the egg cups I am actually going to be making while I'm making the sweet potato hash, because Nathan and I are actually going to be eating breakfast for supper tonight. So, without further ado, there is some prep that goes into it. So, here I'm going to show you some footage of me chopping up all the veggies. And anyone who knows anything about knife skills is probably screaming right now. But anyway, now that we're done, we are back to our muffin tin. So the first step, is to line your muffin tin with bacon. I don't know how many slices of bacon are here, but I chose Applewood bacon just because I personally like it. So, and it will overlap on one of the sides or maybe all the way around. We could maybe cut it in half if you wanted, or if you absolutely love bacon like me and Nathan, we're gonna go all the way around, and we're actually gonna tuck some in the bottom here to make the perfect little cup. So if you didn't want it to be an actual like baking cup, you could cut it in half and it most likely would reach all the way around. But I'm going to do this with the rest of this bacon. Rest of the bacon going in. And done. So there's all our bacon cups. So the first trip to the oven, it should be set to 400 degrees. You are going to let the bacon start to crisp up for about 10 minutes. If you're worried about the bacon spitting a little bit, you can always cover it with a sheet of parchment paper. Okay, this next step is completely optional, whether or not you want to do it. So because of how many cups I made, and they are currently in the oven, and I do still use two hands because I've tried too many times using one hand and it still ended up horrible. So I am going to do half of the eggs mixed up, and half of the eggs I'm going to just crack into the pan. Just because with the scrambled version, I'm gonna top them any way I want. With the regular cracked egg version, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Quick rinse of my hands. And back. Some moms might be on a diet or have high cholesterol and want to avoid the yolks, so that is very simple too. By now you've probably seen either the water bottle trick to remove yolks, or you can just simply move the yolk back and forth between two shells until all of the white has been separated from it. Otherwise, they have nifty little egg separators too that you can simply buy at the store. So there's my 6 pretty well beaten eggs. I'm gonna keep most of it as possible in there. And I don't care personally if they're a little marbled. When we do scrambled eggs, I actually almost prefer them that way. Okay, here it is. Like I told you, I can always put parchment paper over it. Look at how shriveled up those cups became. Some people suggest you put a piece of potato in the bottom. And I might double that suggestion. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna have to open these all up and put the egg inside. And maybe doing the cups was not the greatest idea. So first I'm going with my mixed egg. And we're going to put this and the other ones we're going to crack an egg into. I'm going to move this over here. Bring my eggs over here. And now cracking an egg one-handed would come in handy. So though these aren't turning out perfect, oh, almost broke it. I think they'll still turn out tasting good. You can always do these without the bacon and add the bacon in later, but then you would probably have to do a olive oil. And that olive oil would be the thing that would keep it from sticking. And you might want to pre-cook the bacon then. Where this, the bacon kind of cooks with it, which is a little beneficial or a little easier in the long run. Is it just me, or do these look so much fuller than these? They're the same eggs, I promise. Woo! That's what it's like to record. It's unpredictable. Kind of always. And actually the bacon's kind of cool enough that I can spread it out this last one. Okay. Now that all of them are cracked and put in, I'm gonna quick wipe that mud so it doesn't burn too much. And then you remember the chopped veggies from before. I'm gonna just load up some of them. So I'll make these 3 Nathans. So he's gonna get green pepper, and mushroom, and a little bit of onion, some of the other peppers. And then mine are gonna get some spinach. Since it's leafy, you gotta kind of put it down in there. And some tomato. And some mushroom. And you can load up the other cups too. If you want any of this cooked down prior to putting the egg on it, you can always cook it in the pan with the bacon. Okay, so ta-da, we are all set to go. I'm not going to reuse this just because now the egg's in there, I'm not too worried about it spitting as much. But if you're worried about it overflowing, you can always put a cookie sheet underneath. Here's how they turned out. I'm going to be putting these back in because these should be perfectly, you cut into them and you see the yolk in the middle. So those should be perfectly that way. For this one, those are probably still raw enough in the middle that you want to put them back in. But this is also the perfect time to put cheese on them, so after the first 10 minutes. After the first 10 minutes, you take them out. You can decide to put cheese on them. You can decide to put cheese on all of them. I'm going to keep this one in just because that one cracked, if you remember. I'm going to just put cheese on that too. So they even puff up a little bit like muffins. I know this might mess up your pan a little bit just because there's cheese kind of everywhere, but there we go. I'm going to take these out. I kind of love little rubber scrapers for this to take it out and put it on a plate. And get all the way around and underneath. Once you get the hang of one of them, you get the hang of all of them. There you go. There's your first egg. And then the final one. And there we go. Beautiful 5. So you can see that's already kind of cooking down. I'm gonna just scoop it onto the other ones. Okay, and then this one goes back in. And I'm going to add some cheese onto that last one. And we're going to cook it for about another 3 to 5 minutes until you feel it's done. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you what one of my egg cups looks like. One of the first ones that came out of the oven. So I'm going to take this, bring it over onto this plate. I'm not amazing at serving. There we go. And then when we cut right into it, And we cut right into it. Just perfect. It's gooey. Yolk. Cooked all the way through. All depending on how you like your bacon. You might want to cook the bacon a little longer if you're a much more crispier person. They say 10 to 12 minutes. But doesn't that look good? Perfect. And then finally the finished product. I did 5 minutes in the oven just because I don't know if you're like me with your oven. When you click cancel, the oven turns off, and I just tend to do that sometimes. So yes, my oven turned off between. And again, maybe a spoon would be better. But we'll just take it all the way over to the edge because I'm horrible at this. That one actually came out pretty easy. That's nice. These with the extra cheese though. Okay. Lost some of the egg here. And here. But I think I did pretty good. As always, here's the finished product. You can choose to put more cheese on it now to have it melt over the top, or just eat as is. When they're cool enough, you can pick them up with your hand and munch on them, but otherwise they are great for really any quick occasion, or if you don't want to be messy giving mom breakfast in bed. So happy Mother's Day, and I hope you have fun with this recipe just like I did. But again, pro tip, you can always include that little piece of potato in the bottom, or you can always do some hash browns or something to kind of leave that area. Or some people might like onions, whatever. But overall, they turned out actually pretty good for having the bacon kind of collapse in on themselves. So happy Mother's Day.
Nice. That was the biggest one.
Yeah.
And the bacon, like, just wouldn't break apart. It'd be hard for me to chew on at first.
But good otherwise?
Very tasty.